When I do the pulling cut, what I'm going to do is cut on this edge, and I'm going to hold the bevel against the wood and bring it up to me. So I got to have that edge right there supported by the tool rest. If I roll it over too much, it's not supported by the tool rest. And this cut is probably the closest to using a skew with a gouge that you'll ever get. Because you got this edge, you know, if you looked at it real closely, it's not sharp on the inside. The outside, we're going to bring it around just like that. It'll give you, in some woods, what will happen is you're not getting a good cut here. You can try this. A lot of people do this cut on platters. But I never do it unless I've got a pretty, I wouldn't use it for a roughing cut. Here the gouge will be positioned as it was in the previous clip. We're just turning around and now pushing the pole cut up along the edge of the bowl. Now as we get into the interrupted surface of the natural edge bowl, this cut continues to make a very clean cut. Often this cut will cut the bark very cleanly on the natural edge bowl on both sides. It's a wonderful cut on the interrupted surface. This bowl is laurel oak. It's about 16 inches by 10 inches. Now I'm going to be doing the very top of the wings of the bowl. This is almost all air and very little wood. The light touch with the pull cut gives a very clean surface, and you can see we're just cutting off very fine shavings. I find that standing looking at the rim down towards the foot gives me a little more control on this interrupted cut and provides a better view of the bowl. The last pass we make on the outside of the bowl, refining the curve before we put the bowl in the chuck. Once the bowl is in the chuck, we'll make a pass pushing the pull cut from the foot to the rim, getting the bowl back in round. Then we'll do some shear scraping on the outside, which should give us a surface that will need very little sanding once the bowl is dry. I do most of my sanding on natural edge bowls after they're off the lathe and dry. This bowl was never going to keep the bark, but you'll see, looking at the bowl ready to go in the chuck, surface is still a little rough, but fairly smooth, and the cut on the bark is quite nice, even though the bark's beginning to separate. Here, I've got the flute pointing up, bevels on the wood, it's not cutting, I just roll the tool and it starts to cut. And the tool handle's right in against my hip. I'm not moving my arms, I'm just shifting my weight from my left foot to my right foot on both sides. Okay, right at the line there, a little over the line there, so take a little